Hello, welcome to this week's video on eyes. So we're going to be talking everything eye. I'll try. Anyway, okay, here we go. So these are very common questions. Can you fix the puffiness under my eye? I get dark circles, is that fixable? I have my eyelids are drooping, what do we do? I'm starting to notice deep lines there, so when I move my face, they're worse, but at rest, they're staying around. I'd love to fix that. So hopefully these educational chat right now is going to help answer some of those questions for you. And I'm going to give you not only the why, but also I'm going to give you what works in clinic that I've seen over the last 25 plus years, but it's only getting better. So I'm a testimony because I actually looked up to see if I've done a video recently on eyes, and I found an old one, which must be done in COVID times and lockdowns or something, because I was talking about things like that. But, you could see the difference in my skin. So I was like, oh, I've gotten a lot better. That's very good. So happy about that. But let's talk about the eye anatomy to start with. So firstly, the tissue around the eye is different to the rest of our face. So we know the skin on our face is very affected because it has the most external abuse. Often we have clothes covering different parts of our body in the year, but our face doesn't. Our face is thinner than our body, and it does have a really different anatomy when it comes to the eye sockets. So for example, there's about 500 oil glands. Sebaceous glands is just a fancy name for oil glands in my cheek. There is 0 in my eye circle. So when I'm talking about eye circle, we're talking sort of from here, think of a big circle right up into the brow. So I really don't have oil glands, so my absorption there is going to be minimal. Now, the structure, it also is the thinnest skin on your whole entire body is that eye area. Crazy. So if it's the weakest link in the chain and this area has so much exposure to the environment, it's gonna break down. Now, genetically, we are different. So this is why if you go on my Instagram and look at, there's a diagram I have of the fat pads, how they sit in the skin. I often show this in clinic. So there is a big fat pad that sits under here and it drops as we age. So often people can start to see a lot more hollowing in the eye and just basically aging in general. You can stimulate that and lift it. That I've seen a lot through some of the new filler work with Environ. The medical DF filler treatment combined with home care can help to create that like sponge back in. I've definitely noticed that in my own eye socket. So if it's so thin and it's hard to get products in, well, what do we do? Well, in the Environ, they do make a special eye gel. They have 2. There's only one I recommend because the other one is just not strong enough. So this is called Youth Eye Gel. It is the best one that I have come across for results. So what's in this, guys? So we've got our vitamins A, C, and E, which is what our skin needs to regenerate and heal and repair. It's what we're made with and what is lost from the environment. Predominantly radiational and direct lights and pollution. It's also got peptides. So peptides kind of work as a carrier tool to help the vitamin A absorb. Gosh, the eye area will need that. It also has antioxidants that will assist in lymphatic draining. I have a professor who he came in with their quite big bags under his eyes. It's a genetic disposition, but I would say also some lifestyle things could be addressed to assist his lymphatic system. However, he said, is there anything we could do for my eyes? And I said, look, this will help. It will assist. And he did start, and I hadn't seen him for a little while, and he came back in and he said, wow, that thing is magic. I said, well, it's not. It's his eyes had really reduced the puffiness because of those special antioxidants that actually are draining the lymphatics. So with the anatomy of the eye, so we'll go back and say, okay, there's thinner skin on the body, there's no oil glands in there. So my absorption is going to need a very small molecule to penetrate. it's not what you apply to your skin, it's what your skin absorbs, because the living tissue is in the deeper layer, so called the dermis. So if there's no vitamin getting down there and you're just constantly lubricating the top with antioxidants, you're not going to see that structural change that we all want. So that's why it's all about, is it absorbing? So that's why, yes, you can use your Environ moisturizers, vitamins and peptide moisturizers all the way over the eye if you wish, but not everyone can handle that. And the absorption rate of that will be very minimal. So I always recommend clean the skin. In the daytime, obviously most clients roll at night. So if you have a roller, that's when you would get your little roller out and you would roll all in to the eye and all up on the lid. And remember to stretch wonderfully. So we're stretching that area to make sure we're getting good microscopic channels to get the product to penetrate. Usually I would use my toner all over the eye. Then I would use 1 pump of my eye gel and I will be applying that all here. Now this is where people fail. They just stop. They don't keep putting it up here. It's so important. These eyelids get droopy. So structurally, as we age, our bones shrink, and depending if you look at your parents and one has really droopy eyelids, I do a lot of pre and post surgery for eyelift surgery, and this is where they have to, literally the individual's eye is so droopy, it's feeling very heavy, so it obscures vision, it makes the eye feel really tight at the end of the day. So we want to keep the skin nice and tight and firm onto the skin, so that's really important. If a client has deep lines or they're noticing when I relax, I can see this muscle is very strong, but it's nowhere near as strong as it used to be. And these muscles are strong, but around my eyes, no, it's fine at the moment. But if you're noticing at rest, these muscles are holding, we might need to look at doing some muscle release. So this is focused round serum. So they're peptides that reduce the nerve talking to the muscle. Fancy word, but they're neuromuscular blockers. And we need to make sure we've got a roller to help with that, because you need to get it deeper into the nerve sheath. So you need to get as deep into the skin as possible. So in the daytime, I'd be applying my toner, my eyes, my frown if I've got the deeper lines. And then I'd be pulling my vitamin A moisturizers over if my skin can handle it. Not everyone's skin can, and it doesn't mean that it will never be able to, but it just means that, like fitness, we don't come out of the gate doing it all at once. We have to note and see what the skin can handle. And then with sunscreen, with the Environ sunscreens, some people find a little bit sensitive in the eye. So you can go really close to the eye socket and then it will travel in. For me, I seem to be fine. I can put them all over my face, but just note that if you get any sensitivity, just pull it out here and it will kind of go closer simply by itself. Cool, eh? At night time, we kind of do the same thing. If you're gonna roll, I roll more at night than in the morning, so that's when I would really put more holes in there. And then after I've done all my application of my products, before sleep, I'm gonna put my Revival mask. This works brilliantly. So it has 3 acids that help to stimulate collagen and elastin, but you really do feel a tightening effect. It also is going to assist in making that lovely pH of the skin super acidic again. Our skin should be sitting at a 4 to 5 pH, and that will really help reduce the wrinkling as well of the skin. Does eye gel matter? It's worth its weight in gold in because like I've tried all these strategies by using the vitamin moisturizers, but that tinier molecule structure I find really helpful for clients. And when you have pooling blood, so let's say you wake up with really dark circles, and this might be genetic, you might look at some family members that have the same problem. So structurally the vascular system is sitting a little higher, and some people have a little bit more caved in this little area here, and there's only one blood vessel that carts the blood. So when you're sleeping at night and your lymphatics isn't moving from walking and exercising and so forth, that blood sort of spills out into around the capillary. It spills into the surrounding tissue, and you get that like dark pigment. So I've seen results in thickening the skin. So that's sort of more of a treatment protocol with homework. But the home care is essential, because if you are prepping the skin, you're getting the barrier beautiful, you're getting it nourished, and that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to get the nutrition back into the skin, so then the factory of the eye is going to stay hydrated and supple and have a defense. But if you're already seeing physical change to the structure, that's where you might need to bring in some of these guys. So if we're seeing lines, we might need frown serum. If we're seeing loose skin, we might need to be starting to experiment with revival mask, and then talk about in clinic what treatment protocol would be best for you to enhance that. Remember, Environ is amazing skincare, but if it's not absorbing, you're losing like all the amazing results of it. So that's where treatment, I think Dr. Des says something really cute. He says, I think he gets to have a facial a week. And I have clients that get that, but it's not all of us. So he says that when you have the treatment, it actually just deeply enhances the penetration of your home care. So it turns your skincare into excellent skincare, because it's literally allowing their ability to get into that living tissue. And because the eye is so thin and it doesn't have it's got no oil glands, and generally it's getting a lot of external abuse, you're going to see that area is going to need more work. And I will tell you, the earlier you start doing something about it, the less investment and time you have to put into it. It's very true. I really love doing before and afters each year, because I look at the eye and you can see the clients who are using eye cream and who are not. It's just how it is. Also, those who are consistent. So it doesn't mean they have to have treatments every week. It could be just once a month, but the consistency over 12 months, that's where they get the results. And they're using the home care. They're getting that coaching to like adjust little things. It's called adaptation, right? You can't keep doing the exact same thing. So sometimes with eye gel, even though there's never going to be, your skin is made of vitamin A, C, and E. It has peptides and acids. You're never going to find a better ingredient profile, but you can improve the delivery. And what happens is our skin, when you're using really good skincare, the barrier becomes more efficient and the shield goes up, which is great. We need that. But then your product penetration goes down. So that's my job always is like changing things. I think sometimes clients are over me totally changing their programs, but I do it not to keep you guessing and to keep you changing your behavior, but it's just because the skin, it needs to be, it adapts. If you don't change it, it will just get a little too comfortable, and then you're losing that optimal results. And I want results, and I want optimal, and I want you to spend your time and money really wisely. So eyes, there is treatments that we can talk about in clinic, but on here it's more what you would do at home and why. And if you have individual questions, please pop them below. But I think that's a general overview of why I love particularly that eye cream, and why you need to make sure that you're utilizing some of the other ingredients if you have different concerns. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for listening. Talk soon. Bye.